Hey everybody. Many of you may not know this, but I actually have really severe food allergies. I know I've mentioned it on my live chats a few times. I think I've mentioned it on the channel too a couple times, but it's something that I have to live with every day. And I figured if anybody else out there is going through the same thing, I thought it might be helpful to hear from me about it. Not that I'm gonna make anything better for you, but I know when I was first diagnosed a couple years ago with this, I felt really alone about it, which is kind of strange because I've had all the support in the world from my family and my really close friends, but I was already living alone at the time. I felt terrible 24/7, and suddenly I had to completely change my diet and figure out brand new things to eat that I'd never really even put together before as meals. And I'm not going to go into absolutely full details about everything that has affected me just out of respect for my own privacy, but I will tell you that I'm extremely allergic to wheat, gluten, yeast, anything that is fermented or pickled, anything that has, vinegar, alcohols in it, really bothers me. Those are my highest allergies. They were almost off the chart. And then also milk, corn, and eggs, I was quite allergic to as well. So if you think about that as an American, or if you're watching, anywhere in Europe, probably, think about the last meal that you've had that didn't include any of those things I just mentioned. I know for a fact that I used to eat things that I was allergic to in every single meal. There was not a single meal that I used to eat before I found out what was wrong with me that didn't have at least one or two things that I was incredibly allergic to in it. So if there's anyone else out there who's dealing with this currently, or you've just been diagnosed with food allergies, you just got your test results back, or maybe if you've been dealing with this for a lot longer than I have, I just want you to know that you're not alone. There are other people just like you, just like me, that are making things, making YouTube videos, making music, living extremely productive lives, and you can do that too. You can get back to that point even if you're feeling like your body is absolutely falling apart like I felt. And I was diagnosed as an adult. I had been having symptoms through my college years, and it kept getting worse and worse to the point where I could barely even go to college classes anymore. I could barely even go to the store just because I felt so terrible all the time. I felt so tired. I felt so sick. So I was just thinking about how much harder it would have been if I was diagnosed when I was younger, or, if different things were happening in my life when that was going on. And hopefully, if you're going through that right now, you can watch this video if you already watched my channel, or maybe you don't even watch my channel and you just found this based on tags or the title or whatever. I want you to feel like you're not alone, and this is something that you can live with and you can overcome. The other reason why I decided to talk about this is that I was starting this channel right around the same time I was dealing with all of that, when I felt the worst, when I was just getting tested and then diagnosed. Those were the early days of this channel. That was all going on at the exact same time. And along with my music, in a lot of ways, this channel was kind of my escape from feeling terrible. And even though I was really enjoying making these videos, I would almost forget about how bad I felt while I was doing it. It still would catch up with me, and I'd have to work through it while I was on camera. And so these two big things in my life, this channel and my food allergies and dealing with them, all happened like right at the same time and kind of grew together, if that makes sense. And my music and this channel really helped me through things at a lot of different times. If you go back on this very channel and watch some of my earliest videos, it looks like I'm a lot heavier, actually. Like I've lost some weight since then. And I didn't realize it at the time, but I do realize it now, and it's kind of strange to look back at those videos. I wasn't really heavier. I weighed probably within 5 or 10 pounds of what I do now. It's just that my body was reacting to so many things that I was eating constantly that my face was constantly swollen. And that's kind of a scary thing to go back and look at. There were a lot of times when I'd be filming a review video and I'd have to pause and kind of gather myself because I felt so terrible physically. But for some reason, the enjoyment that I got out of the music and making these videos would always kind of encourage me to push through. And so I did, and all of you wonderful people started watching my videos and commenting on my videos and liking my videos more and more, which, as I've said before, I really never expected. I only thought a handful of music geeks would even care to sit through my 12, 13, 14, 15 minute long videos here on this channel. I really didn't expect so many of you to be watching, but as this channel kind of gained momentum, that's right when I was getting diagnosed, figuring out what I couldn't eat, and then figuring out what I could eat with my new diet and how to cook all these new foods for myself. And the other reason why I wanted to make this video, well, there are a lot of reasons why I wanted to make this video, but one of the other main ones is that I've gotten a lot of sideways looks from people when I say that, I can't have wheat or gluten, especially. And it's one of those things where people look at me like, oh, you're on like one of those fad diets, you're one of those gluten-free people. And what's going through my head all the time is, yeah, I wish it was a fad diet that I could stop tomorrow and go and eat pizza with you again because I miss pizza. And because the whole gluten-free thing has become kind of a trend, it's a trend diet, in addition to people who are actually allergic to wheat and gluten like myself, there does seem to be kind of like blowback where people are really irritated almost about it and are willing to tell you about how that's stupid or it's not real or whatever. And I think like a year ago there was an article published in some magazine about how being gluten intolerant or sensitive or whatever doesn't exist, which is ridiculous in itself, but someone actually felt the need to post that to me, like saying, see, this thing you've been talking about, that really affects your life is all made up. What are you talking about? And for that very reason, that's also why I wanted to make this video, because I know some people just aren't aware. They think that food allergies are just kind of trendy diets, when there's definitely a huge difference between going on a diet and not eating something that you think is bad, and not being able medically to eat something without your body kind of destroying itself. So if it takes people, laughing at me or being annoyed by me talking about it, but then they understand what it is, then I'm happy to kind of take that and provide that for everybody else who's dealing with allergies out there. So this topic is something that I'm going to be talking a lot more about, not so much on this channel, but on my other channel, the MRJ Vlog. You can subscribe right here. And I'm going to be talking about a lot of things like how I've dealt with issues, things I cook, different ways I've figured out how to avoid things I'm allergic to, how to eat at restaurants, all of those kind of day-to-day like practical things that might actually help someone out there who is newly dealing with this issue or is struggling with this issue. And also just kind of the awareness factor. If you don't have anyone in your family or friends group that has any allergies and you don't know about it, and maybe you kind of look down on it, I'll be speaking to that as well, and hopefully really informative stuff, and just kind of telling you guys what I've had to deal with along the way. So if you're interested in that, again, please check out my other channel. I'm going to be posting most of my food allergy related videos on there, because this is a music channel. I do want to keep this as a music channel, but feel free to ask any questions in the comment section of this video right here. If you want to know anything particular about what I've had to deal with, or just anything about it, go ahead and leave a comment and I'll try to find out what topics you'd like to see me make videos on, particularly on my other channel about this. And also, if you're dealing with allergies or severe allergies, make sure to just leave a comment in this video, and I think you'll be surprised just how many people are going to be commenting in who are dealing with the same issue. You are definitely not alone out there. This is something that I still struggle with, I still deal with every day, and I'm hoping that by showing you guys a little bit of a window into this part of my life, it'll be somewhat informative or helpful to somebody out there who's dealing with the same thing. So thank you all so much for your time. I know this is not a music related video, but it's something that I think is very important, and I really do appreciate it if you've watched through this far. So thank you guys, be careful what you eat, and I'll see you next time.